This week on DRC, we theorycraft the rumors of things that might be coming to Hearthstone. Yeah, think about that. Brad talks about the deck that he took to Legend this month. And lastly, Mushu, Philosophy, and you. All that and more. DRC starts right now.
You're listening to the Death Rattle Crew, a Hearthstone podcast.
DRC, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Death Rattle Crew Hearthstone podcast. You're listening to episode 75. I am one of your hosts, Mike Tactuhern, joined by Mr. Bradley.
What is up, Mike Tactuhern? There are people with chainsaws outside my window right now. I hope you guys don't hear that.
We were talking about
post-production.
You've got chainsaws, and I have like a high school band. I think it's the drum line outside.
So chainsaws and a drum line. This sounds like some crazy horror episode of DRC.
Yeah, let's celebrate 75 with a bang.
Wait, this is episode 75?
It is.
That is almost a landmark episode. It's like the half landmark episode.
Right. And before we came on, I was making a joke about it, like the metric system, and said what 75 was, and you were like, I don't know. I
wasn't even paying attention.
Yeah, is 75 like 1.5 of the metric? No, because the metric half was 55.
I don't even know what you're talking about, to be honest.
I don't know.
Okay.
Well, Matt's going to be here later, so we'll ask him when he gets here. I'm sure he has some stories about the metric system that will be enticing, enthralling, and any other adjectives to describe excitement about boring things.
I think it's cool that Mushu just hops in now, and it would be really cool if Mushu just popped in and like had a random conversation ready to go every single episode. Because like his schedule, if for all of those for all of you playing at home, if you will, his schedule right now is this like what time would it be for him right now? It's like 6 a.m, 5 a.m, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
something very, very early for him. And so basically, if it's that early in the morning, he has to get up early and then start doing the podcast with us, or he misses the podcast, and then it's right before he goes to work too. Because of his new job, he's just kind of like in this weird spot where he can't do DRC the whole time. So it'd just be awesome if he popped in. I hope he does it randomly this episode, because he's going to be here. We just don't know when.
Yeah.
But if he just randomly pops in and we just wait for it, we finish our conversation, he pops in and he's like, and he has some crazy story after that.
We'll be in the middle of talking about something serious, like meta, groundbreaking. Yanwu and Ben Brode are going to be on the show in 5 minutes, and he's going to show up and be like, listen, let me tell you about my bus ride I had the other day.
We're playing Unicorn Priest, we're kicking butt, we're rank 1 legend, and he drops in and he's like, screw your Unicorn Priest.
That's it. That's exactly
what
what
bus ride I'm on right now.
It's going to be that. It's like, all right, we figured out Unicorn Priest, and the deck list is, and then enter Mushu talking about his bus ride.
Like,
yeah.
There was this old lady on the bus. It was awesome.
DRC
Thanks,
confirmed.
Mushu.
Yeah.
Thanks. Mike, what is up with you, sir?
This week, outside of Hearthstone gaming, I went to Best Buy and I got an open box.
There's your first problem right there.
Yeah, I know.
It's your first mistake right there.
It's a pretty common mistake to make. All right, so I got open box. I got a...
Wait, what's open box?
It's when someone like returns something and they can't sell it full price. So they just put it back on the shelf.
Right.
Yeah.
So it go back on the shelf, but it's an open box product. Got it.
Right. Whereas like refurbished is like returned back to the vendor and they fix whatever it was or whatever. So
right. So it's in theory it's like new.
Yes. Yeah. Right.
Gotcha.
I got a 40-inch 4K TV, really, really, really cheap, but I did research for weeks because there is a big difference between computer monitors and TVs as far as refresh rates and input lag and all that. Did a lot of research, and I finally came up with something that I was okay with, and it works great.
Did you wait? So which one has more input lag and refresh rate? Is it the TV or a monitor?
The TV.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So in theory, the monitor is better.
Yes.
If you were to get the same 4K product.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's only one company. Philips is the only company right now that I know of, outside of like some off-brand, which are good. Some off-brand like Korean made that you have to like order off eBay and get shipped to you. But only one sold in the
Sure.
U.S. are Philips, and they run about $700-900.
Wow.
But I got this Samsung that
Maybe next year when it's like
Yes.
$200.
absolutely, yeah, you're right, right. So my old monitor, I ended up selling it to my youngest brother. So I got this thing, and
Cool.
yeah, so it's working pretty good. That's pretty much
Wait,
it.
does it have a curve and everything?
It does not. I got this
Okay.
purely on spec, just for the numbers.
Gotcha.
It's got pretty good refresh rate and pretty low input lag. So yeah, it's working pretty good. It gives me a lot of workspace for work, and then also when I do like the podcast, I have like Skype up in one corner and all the recording down, and Hearthstone up in one, and you should see my screen. It's a mess right now, but yeah. So that boring fun. I am outside of Hearthstone. I am looking forward to No Man's Sky coming out in 2 weeks. Have you been looking at that at all?
Not at all.
Okay.
I don't even know what No Man's Sky is.
You don't?
No.
So it's a procedurally generated space exploration game.
Oh, my roommate told me about this
Yeah.
game.
I think
This game looks fantastic.
Yeah, 18 quintillion planet possibilities. So what that means, I looked up a lot of these stats. There are less grains of sand on the planet Earth than there are planets you could explore in this game.
Yeah, and isn't
That's
it like
ridiculous.
user developed too? Like once you make changes, it develops the world more. Isn't it
So
something like that?
it can. I've been reading just about everything I can find with it. The main developer, I can't think of his name now. Really nice guy. Basically, what he said was if everything's saved locally, and then it's more of like information is sent to a database. So if you do something of like significance, like killing complete genocide of a species of alien, that
Sure.
will save. Or anything, or if you dig a hole through the center of the planet, that will save. So if someone else happens to come there, they'll see it. But otherwise, it kind of just respawns. But
Gotcha.
it's what's really neat is the algorithm that does that. Like, because I think the game's 6 or 8 gigs big, but it will save what that planet was, the name of it, what was there. So when you go away, obviously it unloads itself, I guess, and goes back into the algorithm. This isn't really how it works, but just kind of when you go to a planet, code pulls it out. You're there. When you fly away from it and it's no longer in range, it goes back in the code. But the algorithm's so neat because you can turn around, come right back to it, and it just pops right out again.
That is cool.
Yeah, I don't. It just as a developer myself, that's just really interesting that something that size can do this. It's unreal. It's random, but it's not completely random. Like
Right.
there is some structure to it. So it's again just really really interesting. But yeah, that's pretty much my week. What about you?
Well, ironically, I also was looking at a TV. However, instead of a 4K one, I was looking at the pawn shop for just a cheap monitor, basically. So I've been looking for that for the last couple of days. I'm trying to like make a slight upgrade to my monitor settings. So just that kind of thing. Similar circumstance.
Yeah.
Just trying to upgrade to something bigger and badder than what I've got.
Yeah.
But the irony is they had a 4K TV in the pawn shop.
Yeah.
Of all places, which is crazy. I think it was like a refurbished one that they rebuilt or something, but they had it. So kind of interesting. And I actually looked at it. I don't remember how expensive it was, but it was way beyond how much I wanted to spend on just like an extra little monitor.
Right.
So, but nonetheless, kind of cool that those things are starting to, there's enough out there, that it's starting to pop up enough.
They're getting really cheap now. And I know this in the last couple months, they've just done an update to it. So for anyone, unless you spent like $3,000 in the past year on a 4K monitor, I feel like you got kind of shafted. I guess what they call it 4K HDR is a new format that's coming out. I don't know much about it. I know there's 2 formats coming out, and a lot of the TVs that have been sold since 4K came out don't support it. So it's like, oh, that's ugly.
Yeah, that sucks because, you got punished for being an early adapter to new technology there.
It's like the bleeding edge, but you took the knife and just like skewered yourself with it. Kind of bleeding edge. It sucks, and yeah, I'm glad I didn't jump on board. I don't know. There's no content anyway. Like I say that, like you can't go out and buy a 4K movie right now. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, there isn't. Soon.
Yes.
Hashtag
soon.
TM.
Hashtag.
Soon, right? They trademarked it. I forgot.
Did, yes. Soon TM.
So that's what's been going on outside of Hearthstone with me.
What about inside?
Inside of Hearthstone, a bunch of stuff happened this week. First off, step 1, Golden Rogue.
Golden Reno.
Not Golden Reno. Sorry, I failed you all. Golden Rogue. Got my Golden Rogue done this week, which was awesome. Cool to have that done. Secondly, Golden Paladin done. We're just blinging the entire account here.
Nice.
It's looking pretty. Two of them to 500 wins now. And I got Legend this week, so that was cool.
Nice.
The Legend thing I don't really care nearly as much about, but all my dudes look bling now except for Priest.
Why not? Everyone's playing Priest.
Well, if you would look at the Vicious Syndicate Data Reaper report, for instance, number 10, in fact, you would notice that the amount of people that are playing Priest is less than any other class. In fact, I believe it's less than 5% as a whole. So it's pretty bad.
That's rip.
Ripperino, Unicorn Priesterino. So many people have been playing that. You were even mentioning it before we started that like the whole like Ben Brode Unicorn Priest thing might just be a PR thing. Who knows? If it's not, it's at least the greatest PR like random thing to happen.
Well, yeah. I feel like, all right, if it is a thing and we're all missing something, please just tell us what it is. Because
for sure,
everyone, like you look at, like, well, we were talking about it too, that the Reaper report and how it looks almost exactly the same as the last one they did.
Yeah. Like, well, I know the difference. People are playing a little bit more Yogg Druid.
Okay.
That's the difference.
But it's like, all right, we need a little change. We need a little something new. But I do feel like if the deck isn't, if that Unicorn Priest isn't as good as what it needs to be, like it's just you're just kind of hanging yourself if you say, oh, check this deck out, and it's like, oh, you mean that one? Yeah, not so much.
But it got people to play different decks on ladder, so it was a success.
Sure.
There's your PR scheme right there.
Yep. Yeah, even if it was 3 days.
Yeah, even if everybody switched to play Priest because it was a joke, it still worked. That's how you get people to play Priest in this game now. Pretty funny, actually. I wonder if Priest will end up getting something insane from this new set that's coming out, or solo adventure or whatever, which we'll talk about here in a little bit as well.
The new set. Oh, I can't wait to talk about that.
Set. When does that? Okay, so we are recording on Wednesday right now, right?
Yeah, they're gonna announce it tomorrow, right? Yes, the 28th. So when this comes out, will be the day that they announce it.
Right, so at 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the 28th. So basically, by the time this comes out, everyone will have the Twitter will be abuzz, if you will.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So interesting that we're getting new stuff soon. Hashtag TM again. But I'm actually hoping that the new set. This was a little bit of a a little bit of like a theory crafting here. Noblord wrote an art or thing on Reddit about the idea of this potentially being actually, instead of a solo adventure, a set. And the idea that kind of came to the head was the idea that, like, instead of releasing, like, you know how they do the solo adventure releases, you know, they do like 1 week of it, you get one wing, and then the next week you get the wing after.
Right.
If they stuck to that sort of schedule, that system, but instead moved it to a solo adventure, and in the solo adventure they moved it from a solo adventure to a release set, and instead it'd be, let's say it's like Tower of Karazhan or whatever, right? So it's still the same set structuring, but instead now the idea is what if it's a full expansion, but they still did the same structuring as a solo adventure. Would be really freaking cool, because then it creates a new diverse meta every single time along the way, and it solves the problem that I've had personally with the competitive structuring system currently with Hearthstone Championship Tour, which is, and I mentioned this on the the podcast like twice now that the Hearthstone Championship Tour, if you're in Europe, it comes first if it's the preliminaries. Then the Americas comes second, and then the Chinese one or Asia Pacific one, I'm sorry, comes third. So if they're happening in that order, that means week one of release, the EU players will be building these new builds, new decks, and battling them against each other. So they're the ones that are deck designing. And then, the second week, it's North America. And so North America is refining. And then by the time we get to Asia Pacific, they're playing tuned decks, like honed tuned decks to try and combat some sort of meta. So it's the way that the prelims play out is differently. So people with different skill sets are going to be more benefited in different settings. So like the people in Europe that are deck designers are going to be more benefited than the people in NA that are deck designers. And the people in NA that are going to be benefited are the people that can sit down and jam the numbers and say that this makes this deck slightly more proficient against this deck and try to like attune to a slight meta and make a more efficient and perfect build in a sense. And then again, when we get to China, it's just like refined or beat the meta, and so it changes the way that you have to approach the tournament setting. And so I think it benefits different skill sets within players to be in these different regions, which is kind of interesting from the standpoint of like some people will top 8 a Hearthstone Championship Tour specifically because they're in the Americas where they can pull the deck lists from Europe and just be like, I'll just copy paste and go. Like Europe already figured out the deck lists for me, so I don't have to do any of the work. So again, other things that are beneficial to the Europe setting is a team setting because teams are going to have more. There's more input from a team in a blank slate, right? If it's a blank slate and a team's working together, they're going to come up with something better in the Europe setting than in the America setting the weekend afterwards, where now it's no longer a blank slate and there's something that's already kind of formed, and then from there it's like you're trying to combat a specific circumstance. So like a team is less desirable from an American setting for the Hearthstone Championship Tour. So I don't know but basically what I'm saying is if they took the solo adventure structuring and they said, here's the solo adventure, that's what we have normally, but instead put it in with a set release and every single month or every single week or whatever, you get a piece of the new set along the way. You could do that for like 2 months and create a fresh game while also trickling down new release content.
Yes.
So it's like constant content then.
I would love that.
Yeah, and imagine if they did. So if let's say they're doing 2 set releases in a solo adventure per year, right? And if solo adventures currently take about a month to release, we can say there's a month of release for the solo adventures, there's a month without content, and then we hop into the next adventure or the next thing, maybe a month and a half without content, and we hop into the next thing, and the next thing is a set that takes 3 months to fully release, but it's trickling pieces in at a time, and after 3 months it stagnates for like a month and a half because that's a complete meta and they want that meta to be solved at some point, and then the next set comes in. And so like at that point it's 3 months for set releases, so that'd be 6 months plus a month for solo adventure, that's 7 months. That's 4 months in between of lag time. So you could have like 2 months where there isn't content coming out or something. And that really just kind of, there won't be as much downtime, more lag time like there is right now. So I don't know. Kind of interesting.
Yeah, I would love that. I don't know. I feel like, we talked about this and then last week, like the tournament mode being, all right, it's just like standard standard ranked mode, but instead you pair up with a person, you play 2 out of 3, best 2 out of 3, or 3 out of 5, whatever it might be. Those two things would change this game in such a good way. I think it would keep it fresh a lot longer and not be queued. Like when was it? Monday, I think I queued into Control Warrior 3 times in a row.
That sucks.
And it was just like, oh my God, these long games, like it's like an hour and a half, I'm exaggerating a little bit, maybe by 15 minutes. It was over an hour and I played 3 games. It's like, oh my God, stop.
And I don't mind those long games, that's fine, but like it's when there's no other diversity, it's like I'd rather play something else now.
Right.
And like for me, it's more Dragon Warrior. I've run into Dragon Warrior a lot for the last couple of days.
Right.
And it's just Warrior in general. The class is very, very dominant in the ladder setting right now. It's just it has all the tools you need to combat pretty much any deck. and so it always has a solid matchup against the field for the most part.
Right. Well,
oh, I said at the same time as you.
Moving forward, then, what else do we have for all these folks playing at home?
All kinds of stuff, all kinds of goodies. Well, I guess we could at Meta Anatomy we could talk about the deck list that I specifically. It is my secret in list that I took to Legend this season.
Okay,
and I'm having a lot of success with. I've kind of hopped off from it, and I'm back onto the Inzoth, Yogg, Saran, Beneath the Grounds Rogue deck that I was messing around with before because it's just super fun. Yeah, I'm playing like Alex Straza in it now.
Are you kidding?
I'm just like having super fun with it. Yeah. I'm even considering Bladed Cultist, which you probably don't even know what Bladed Cultist is.
Wow.
Do you know what that is?
I can't remember. Now I have to go look at it now.
Exactly.
That's a neutral, right?
It's a rogue card from Whispers of the Old Gods, actually.
I see it.
Is a 1-mana 1/2 that has combo gain +1/+1. So effectively, it's a 2/3 for 1 mana if you have something that you've cast beforehand. And so I just want it for its efficiency, and I'm considering playing it. Like I've got a crazy build idea with it that I've been messing around with. Rogue is the funnest class to build with. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I could see that. That's
because it just has so many weird restrictions and constraints because of combo.
Yeah.
And then additionally, it has all these kind of like junky cards like Beneath the Grounds that are actually like serviceable if you can build around them effectively. And like Shadow Strike, you know.
I've always been a fan of Beneath the Ground. I like that card a lot.
Oh, I love it. It's a 3-mana 12/12. How can you go wrong?
Yeah.
It's so much better than a 4-mana 7/7, right? A 3-mana 12/12. How could you go wrong?
Oh man.
Especially against Control Warrior. If you had Beneath the Grounds against Control Warrior, you would just wreck them.
Oh sure, right.
It's so good against them.
Yeah.
Also, you know where else Beneath the Grounds is fantastic? Reno Jackson.
Oh yeah,
because you put 3 cards in their deck and it does nothing at that point. It is so awesome. It feels awesome to watch, to like beat down your Reno opponent and be like kind of weird and like make slight changes here and there, but being able to like just hold the Beneath the Grounds and then put your opponent to like 15 where they're like 1 turn away from Renoing and you're just like, Beneath the Grounds, go. And they're like, what? I can't cast Reno now. And then you've got this massive board state and you're just going to win the game. It's awesome. It feels dirty. So good to it just wrecks them.
All right. Well, anything else before we get into Meta Anatomy?
No. Beneath the Grounds for president. 2016.
I'll vote
17?
for that.
2017.
Yeah, 2017. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll take a quick break and be right back.
DRC would like to thank Brainiacs for their support of this podcast. If you have a tech idea for improving your business's workflow, Brainiacs can provide a turnkey solution to specifically fit your needs. You can contact them at www.brainiux.com.
And welcome back. This is Meta Anatomy, your one weekly stop for everything Meta and Hearthstone. I'm Tech2, joined by Bradford Lee and Mushu. Mushu, let's take a moment real quick and talk about what's going on this week with you. What's going on with you?
I have opened my eyes to the plight of the full-time workers who also play Hearthstone. Further opening my eyes, I guess, because I don't know, the weeks have just really, the past 3 weeks have really just sort of blurred together, and I can understand how people don't have time to get to Legend, but basically it comes back to, I said this last time, that, you know, if you want Legend, you can do it. You just sort of have to allocate that time. Like if I, basically all my free time at the moment is going towards Pokemon Go. Because I'm in balls deep. I have this compulsion to finish the game in its current like state. But I think,
it's about to say its current state of like, can you finish it? Can you?
So if I had to, you know, if I didn't have to like quote unquote finish it, I would probably fill that void with Hearthstone.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what's up with me. Just working. It's busy time for me in the next couple of weeks. But after that, yeah, it should be good. Looking forward to a nice little holiday in October.
Yeah.
It's going to be good.
Okay. Nice.
It's Yeah,
That's
yeah.
it.
Are you going to get to Legend this I'm guessing you're not going to this season, right?
It's the 28th, so month. Let's go ahead and say probably not. If so, yeah, I thought about it because like it would put me close to the 4 points I needed because I didn't make it last season. It seems kind of like I sort of missed the ship on I guess the ANZ preliminaries, but I think I'll just mill about in the last call tournament and see what happens because like. What's the requirement for last call? Just any legend ever, or 2 legend points, or something like that?
No, I don't know. With your region is the way that it operates is different for your.
Oh yeah. ANZ's kind of.
I think what was it last year? It's like if you were awake and had a pulse, wasn't it in your region, you could go.
Yeah, if you're awake and were above rank 5, you could play a tiebreaker to get in.
It was just sort of like, but that's not because the player. That was just you didn't have enough people, right? What it was?
It's population density, and because they only sort of made the call was made like 4 or 5 days into the season. It's not like it was. It was made like with like 4 or 5 days left in the season, so it's not like we had advance warning. But anyone who was like a good player in this region probably was already legend was fine. But basically, anyone who was like sort of on the fence about grinding that month was sort of like, okay. It was interesting, but it's got a lot to do with population density. Yeah, we just don't have like the population density in ANZ. It's just like we have 20 million in Australia, and I think maybe 10 million in New Zealand. So we have our 2 countries combined, we have 10% of the US population.
Right.
Jeez.
So it's like. There should be roughly 10% of the effort, you would think. So whatever, it's fine. It's like it is what it is, I guess. Australian esports is an emerging thing.
Okay.
I mean, it's a good time to get on the ground floor if you live out there, I suppose.
Yeah, it is. There are so many. Like there are 5 or 6 really good Australian players. Like obviously we've heard of I guess Deckies and he's the main one. And who, sorry?
Navi, right?
Navi, Navi, yeah. And then there's obviously Tom FLR and Flamingo Bums are both very good Australian players. And then there's our region sort of full of, I guess, good Southeast Asian players, like Neil Yo and... So it's a tough group. It's a tough group.
Yeah. It's not going to be easy anywhere for sure. Never is going to be like there's good players all around the world. It's just that like you're lucky to have a little less numbers because less numbers is good in a game based on like win percentage, which is good.
Yeah, I agree. It seems easier to get further in ANZ than it does in the US. Definitely. Like you can maybe not necessarily get all the way because we have less seats, but like relatively, I think, we're still ahead in terms of it's definitely easier in this region because, you're competing against less people. And even though like a proportionate, I still think we come out slightly ahead.
Yeah.
It's interesting. And where are you sitting on the ladder, the grand old scheme? Because going to the championships, that's basically puts you in the preliminaries for the next one, doesn't it?
I just haven't cared at all. I played in one open tournament since the championships.
Really?
That's what I would do, but like the month leading up to like the closing month, because does it close? It closes in August, doesn't it?
Well, I believe it closes like next month. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's next month on like the 4th or something like that. This
next week, or it might even is this week. I'm pretty sure is the last weekend for tournaments. At least in ANZ, I don't know that much.
I think there's 2 weekends left in Americas, or maybe I might be wrong. Let me look at my calendar real quick. It is to the 4th. Yeah, so this is the last weekend for us as well. Yeah.
So basically, what actually I might YOLO some tournaments then, because if I all I need to do if I spike a Okay, yeah. If I come second in a tournament this week, and then I'll make legend because I'll just put everything else aside, like Pokemon Go can wait a day or two, because that'll give my 4 points to make the ANZ preliminaries. Because I'm currently on like 1 for this season, so if I go to 3 and get the legend point, that'll be 4. So yeah, I'm gonna YOLO some tournaments on Saturday. I haven't done that in a long time. But basically, I've already forgotten his name. your opponent in the America's Championship,
Rusty.
Rusty. He was a big grinder of open tournaments, wasn't he?
I don't really know a story behind it, but I'm sure.
Pretty sure. I like when I watched like the color pieces. He was talking about how he would grind open tournaments, and I think that's probably the best way to prepare is to grind open tournaments.
Yeah.
Like ladder is ladder, but the skills aren't necessarily transferable. And I definitely
the
think
base skills of the game are, but like you're saying, but they're not transferable other than that. I agree.
Yeah, base skills. So like obviously you can get to what I'm saying is I think you'll benefit more from practicing a shit ton of open tournaments than you would doing a shit ton of ladder.
Mm-hmm.
Just because of the format.
And that's exactly the approach that I'm going to take. Like there will still be open tournaments, right? But they're not. They're going to be rewarding points only for last call participants, which I can't queue for. Or is that what it's called? The fourth top 8 thing that they do? Anyway, right. I can't queue for that because I didn't grind for that this year. It didn't choose to because it's just like it doesn't seem it's feasible, but it's not something that seems like a good investment of my time for the most part. So I just decided not to invest my time into it. But like there'll still be tournaments, so people will still be queuing, but it'll also generally be just higher level players that are playing those because they're the ones that still need points, are still grinding to try and make top 8 in their region, which is interesting that like we might see less people who are kind of like trying to grind for the Hearthstone Championship Tour on these tournaments and more of these people who specifically need points because the Hearthstone Championship Tour will be over at that point for the year. So like it's just the tournament setting is still going to be a great place to get used to and get prepared for something like the Hearthstone Championship Tour or any other tournament you want to go to. Just an open is perfect for that.
I'm keen to jump into some tournaments on the weekend though, because I haven't played any Hearthstone basically this month. Because just sort of Pokemon Go is just I said it multiple times. I'm just so dead.
I'm actually looking at the city of Seattle in relations to where I live, and seeing which place has how much Pokemon they have in relation. It's insane how many more Pokemon are in the city of Seattle and like in a populated, dense area. I can imagine how much more fun I would have. Like I have fun with the game already, but I would be as addicted as you are right now if I lived in maybe not a major metropolitan area, but an area where I could go into like a park or go to a metropolitan location, go do the streets or something, and then go grab dinner or something. You know? Oh.
Yeah, and I've been doing a lot of that. It's just been fantastic.
Yeah, it sounds awesome. Plus, you must be healthier. It's a huge factor.
Yeah, dude. I'm nearly at the weight goal. I've been in I'm at like 85 kilos. So the dream is to get down to 80. And then a lot of that I've been doing like a shit ton of walking, and I've also been in like ketosis where you run off fat. And so that combined with walking and just fasting, like I'm only eating, I'm having a meal a day and 2 snacks usually. So like I have a can of tuna like 11, and then maybe another can at 3 o'clock if I'm dying. But then like my one big meal that I get most of my calories and I guess nutritional benefits from is like dinner. But yeah, it's 1 meal a day, and that's only doable because I'm working full time and like my attention is elsewhere all day. But, yeah,
I could do the same thing if I'm working and just not paying attention. I've gone days without eating. It's like I go to bed. It's like, holy crap, I didn't eat a damn thing today.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like working full time and weight loss it seems kind of easy to me. Like in that, particularly if you have an engaging job, if you get involved in what you do, then it seems kind of easy. But if you have like a job that you hate or it's not very interesting and you're just sort of like always you're procrastinating, that's when I think it would be hard to do.
That's when you munch. It's like, I got nothing to do.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But
let's go get some chips.
In my current position, oh my God, it's just so easy not to eat, and I'm reaping the benefits. I've been a big boy for a long time, but since 2012 or 13, I've been on the decline. My maximum was like 125 kilos, and so I'm 85 now, so that's 40 kilos over like X amount of years. But the dream is I'm now like not gonna die of like heart disease. So we're in, boys. We're doing it.
Step 1 completed. Step 2, catch Pikachu.
Exactly. Oh, did I already call Pikachu? I'm winning my life. Yeah, I'm winning it. I'm winning life.
I said I'm living my life.
I'm winning. That's what this inspirational podcast I listen to says. It's like take hold of your life and get after it. So Jocko podcast, if you're looking to be fit, made
Sounds like a Shia LaBeouf.
lazy.
Just do it. Kind of moment.
Well, pretty much like he's an ex-Navy SEAL and just tells you how to be a good leader and shit like that.
How to kill people.
Conspiracy theories.
Oh yeah, do we want to talk about that?
Let's do
I'm
it.
looking at Antarctica
Let's
right
do
now
it.
for Pokemon, so I'm kind of distracted.
Is it?
I got a little bit of time left before I got to run, but yeah, let's have a quick. Well, I'll put it.
So we talked about this for a quick second before you showed up, and this was my thought on it, Mushu. So the conspiracy theory is that maybe we are not coming into a new solo adventure. We might be coming into a set release. And I was thinking how cool it would be if instead of what if the set released like a solo adventure though, and like you did it for like 2 months, and that's how they start releasing sets. So that the meta changes over a 2-month period, and then it only stagnates for what, like a month or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see what you mean, but my brain's sort of like, I guess, in two minds about that, because for the longest time, Blizzard have been like a company of tradition, but then, as Mike pointed out before, they made an FPS, and then they only did 2 tiers in this Warlords of Draenor expansion. So
Right.
I'm erring on the side, like, obviously I'm erring on the side of they'll just do the same thing, like, because it seems like it's the path of least resistance, just, go expansion, adventure,
Right.
expansion, adventure, expansion, adventure. And it's, yeah, I would, as a betting man, I would bet on the side of it's just going to be an adventure.
Mm-hmm.
That's
a very safe bet, and that's exactly, as a betting man, I would be on that too. But I just like the idea of potentially having a solo adventure that could have not a solo adventure, a set release that could have a solo adventure release structure, which is like over a period of 2 months. Like, and what would be better than like Tower of Karazhan or something, like where you could you could do one leg of it and do and then go to the next section of the tower or whatever the next week or the next time after. And that's, obviously that fits into the solo adventure shell as well.
Right.
But like if you released a huge set that's like 300 cards and you spoiled it, like some of it some week, like you spoiled it, let's say it's 100 cards, right? And you did a 10-week cycle, which is basically like 2 weeks. Well, we'll say 8-week cycle. But and you release 12 per set per day, per week, and you just say, here's 12 new cards introduced. Here's 12 new other cards are introduced. And it just causes a shift in the meta throughout that whole point. And then you have a month where all the cards are in the set. And that gives people a chance to kind of develop that meta. And then all of a sudden we'd be on to a solo adventure, a next set or something like that. And it just keeps the game so freaking fresh at that point.
It seems like that would be too good. That'd be too correct.
I just right, and we're thinking about we do these set reviews every time they come out, and it's like, all right, well, let's see, this card's garbage, this card is must play. There might be a point in the meta where that card that's garbage is the must play card, and even if it's for a couple, it's not just anymore a pilot of shredder fodder or anything like that. It's actually used. Like that would be the time.
In all the time we've done DRC, my most hated episodes to do have been set reviews. Like,
you lie.
Absolutely.
You lie.
You lie. I hate, like, the first one's good, but then when it's like 4 weeks later and we're still doing it, it's like,
I know.
I want to cut my dick off, sort of thing.
And that was the worst with the last set too, because they were like,
it was
coming soon, and then it just kept dragging on and on
it's
and on.
And
then
2 months later, we're like, okay.
Yeah, and we were like, maybe we should actually do the set review now. And we were like, okay, yeah, it'll only be like a week or two. And then 6 weeks later, we're like, oh my God, we have 3 more weeks of this. This is ridiculous. It just got to the point where we couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah, it's just like, and a lot of what we say is like, we're only spitballing. Like, I think theory crafting, because we're theory crafting without complete information. And so there's a good chance that all of our shit just gets shat on.
Like, it's fun, but
happen.
Is it fun? It's fun for the first couple of weeks.
Yes. Oh, and that's what I mean.
Why we should just do it in 1 week, and we should just get it all done.
Right. All right. Should we just do that from now on? If they do the same release, we're just gonna be like, all right. So they release cards. We're not going to talk about it.
I think maybe it depends on how many are released. Like, if it's 2 or 3, we can probably talk about it. But I think maybe when everything is released, we should sit there and do a big slog of the entire set
Okay.
But do it as a separate episode because obviously it would take longer. But and then like have a regular episode. So anyone who is like hardcore DRC / has nothing better to listen to will sit there and listen to us go through an entire set of cards. And I'm down for that because like one and done is my philosophy, right? Just one and done.
I hear you. Yeah.
Just punch it right in the throat, get it out of the way.
But
That's brutal.
My apologies, lads. I must be going to the work, but I forever aim to get here on time. I saw your message at like sort of 6:10, and I was just in my bed. I was like, I wonder if I could do DRC from my bed, but then I feel like I'd be like, but then I'd be like Jeremy and having like a mobile phone for my mic, and it's like I don't want to do that. I'd rather
be like,
I think my Blue Yeti without an audio interface is like painful enough. So it's just like, I don't really want to hurt anybody's ears. So, but thank you, boys. Thank you for having me for a short amount of time. But good luck.
Have fun at work. Catch some Pokemon.
I'm gonna catch so many Pokemon. But yeah, I'll catch you boys later.
See ya.
Later. All right, now that he's gone, let's talk shit about him.
Absolutely.
So Mushu sucks so much that I got really nothing to say about him.
Nothing? Really?
Really?
Okay.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head that I would want to profess at this point without... No, there's just nothing. There's nothing.
Oh, man.
I'm still looking at this global Pokemon map, though. Since we were talking about that, I just keep clicking on like different locations that I've lived before, and I'm like clicking all around to see like where the Pokemon are there and just how many more populate the city areas that I used to live at compared to where I'm at now. There's just like none here, and there's none in Antarctica. So there goes my dream to go to Antarctica and find Pokemon. I know, right? Pokemon do not populate that continent, apparently.
I wouldn't live there.
I was considering like searching through Greenland. I would assume there's some spots in Greenland where there's populace that they'd be at. But like Greenland is for the most part a pretty barren wasteland of nothing and snow.
What about Iceland? Oh,
Iceland definitely.
Yeah.
Iceland's like the opposite. Iceland and Greenland, they named them wrong, didn't they?
Yeah, they named them. From what I understand, in history class, they named them that way to trick people to go.
Really?
Yeah, that's how I understand. It could be completely wrong, but that's what I remember.
That's kind of cool. So
yeah.
No, as I look through Reykjavik right now in Iceland, there is nothing there. But it has Pokemon Go released in Europe is the question. I don't think it has yet.
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe it did already. I don't know. Anyway, let's get away from that. Let's talk about Magic, or not Magic. Let's talk about Hearthstone for a second.
Oh, for a second, yeah.
We talked about this earlier in the episode, right at the very beginning. The secret enlist that I took to Legend this season.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of success with the deck in general, and it's a little bit different than some of the other lists that have been floating around. There has been a secret enlist that was floating around not too long ago that people were taking to High Legend. That was like a bubble type build, and this is a bubble type build as well. That is to say, it uses a divine favor minions to gain some sort of advantage. So I'll quickly run through what it is and kind of what it does. So the bubble creatures, the divine shield creatures, are Argent Squire. There are 2 selfless heroes, so those give more bubbles. Argent Horse Rider ×2. I'm running 2 Cthulhu's Chosen and 1 Argent Commander. So and Tyrion. Sorry, Tyrion as well. So that's 9 of them, I believe, plus the 2 selflesses to potentially give you more. And the thing is that there's also in this build I'm running 2 Redemption. So the 2 Redemption go really well with all these bubbles because you just keep getting back these really resilient divine favor minions. And so you're just going to get some insane value. And obviously, if in this kind of build, you're running something like Rallying Blade, because Rallying Blade fits really, it's good synergy with that. And on top of that, Rallying Blade is really good against Dragon Warrior. So I'm running 2 Rallying Blades because Rallying Blades kills all their 3 power minions. So Rallying Blade does good work for you for the most part in that matchup, and pretty efficiently costed. We've seen that card be successful in Warrior, basically something very similar to it be successful in Warrior. I'm sorry, in Hunter in the form of Eagle Hornbow. So that fits really well there. So those are the bubbles. That's kind of the bubble package. The other things that I'm fitting in there are your other secrets. You've got 2 Noble Sacrifices right now, which go really well with 2 Redemptions because, when you Mysterious Challenger, you can set that up. And then 1 Repentance, and that's my secret package. And I have 1 Abusive Sergeant just for a little bit extra reach. Sir Finley, actually, weirdly enough, because it gives me another, even though Sir Finley's not great in the deck, it gives me another threat, like an in-game threat, because you can get the Warlock hero power or the Hunter hero power.
Right.
So you can like finish games with Sir Finley, which is really strong, but it's also a cheap minion, so it gives me more things to do on turn 1, which is great for the deck too. And then I'm running 2 huge toads, and that's more of just a concession to the fact that I want more things that are good with redemption, because a lot of times I'll keep redemption in my opening hand, play a redemption, and then play a huge toad, and when they kill my huge toad, it's a 3/2 that gets a 1 random juggle, comes back as a 3/1 with another 1 random juggle. So a lot of times you can clear the board really effectively with the huge toad redemption combination. And then I've got 2 Blessing of Kings, because again, redemption, things with bubbles, Blessing of Kings, pretty natural fit there.
Right.
2 Consecrations, pretty standard stuff. Your 2 Mysterious Challengers, and then I'm running 1 Keeper Voldemort and 1 Stranglethorn Tiger to kind of like split the difference between the 2, and then 1 Argent Commander. So those are all kind of like, it just allows me to curve more likely, because Keeper being 4, Stranglethorn being 5, Argent being 6, you can a lot of times move up the curve. Anyway, the reason I bring this deck up is I really think Secret Den's a lot better than is representative of its usage on the ladder. And it's a deck that I feel like in the last 2 weeks, people have kind of like been talking a little bit more about, and it's been surfacing a little bit. And despite the fact that we have this sort of solved meta, right? We have this sort of understood meta. Secret Den is still finding ways to combat and pop into that meta. So just a deck I've been messing around with. I suggest everyone to check it out. I got to Legend with it. I think I had 66% win percentage from rank 5 to Legend. I can't actually pull up my tracker anymore, because once I got to Legend, I reset all the tracker information. I think it was 66 or 67. It was one of those 2. I think it was 66. But I reset my tracker information just because I wanted to see what my win percentage with it was in Legend specific, as I try to make a push for top 100 if I do this season.
Dang.
Which I don't think I'm good. Spoiler alert, I don't think I'm going to.
Is it dumpster rank forever now?
Oh, dumpster rank for sure. I love dumpster rank. I don't need the points. I just don't care.
Right.
I don't care. To redesign the system to give me incentive to climb, I might care. I just don't care though. Man, I've got all the points that I need.
Right.
We'll be good. I'm good. I've queued for the next tournament that I need, that I want to queue for. So
I guess
we're good to go.
it's kind of nice that you can play decks that aren't like super competitive now.
Oh, totally. Like right
That's
now,
fun.
I'm messing around like with Beneath the Grounds again,
Right.
because it's super fun. Literally, the most fun I've had with this game since like Reno originally got released is playing Beneath the Grounds in my Rogue deck. Like it is one of the funner cards, and it's the kind of card that like we were actually talking about this in my stream, like the idea of creating like a 3-mana like 2/2 that, or maybe even a 3-mana 3/3 that put a Beneath the Grounds in your opponent's deck would be really cool.
Ooh.
Because I think of like Undercity I think of like Piloted Shredder. I think of like Tuskar Totemic that have these huge tempo swings, but they do them guaranteed, right? Like it happens like 1 in every 6 times with Tuskar Totemic where you get a 3/4. But if you're putting a Beneath the Grounds on turn 3, you play a 3/3 for, or even like a 3/2 for 3 or something. If you play a 3/2 for 3 that puts a Nerubian into your opponent's deck, a 4/4, you have, I think it's like on turn 3, it's like an 11.7% chance to hit. So it's 1 in 10. At that point, like a 1 in 10 chance to hit is so low that those crazy feel bad blowout moments are reduced beyond like the bounds of a standard deviation, right? 3 bounds outside the standard deviation is what you're trying to create. You're trying to create, it needs to be so abnormal that it's not like always Huffer. You know, it's not 33%. You don't want that. Or maybe not Huffer. Huffer's not a really great example, but like with Tuskar Totemic, you don't want that 1 in 6 kind of thing,
Right.
feeling. That feeling where every 1 in 6 games you can just get destroyed by this random effect. But this is like 1 in 10. But we were just talking about that as a cool card design and how,
Oh, heck yeah.
and just how fun Beneath the Grounds is because of the fact that you're like, man, I'm in dire straits here. And you're like, well, this is my only play. And you make your play, and then all of a sudden you get a 4/4, and you're like, oh, that's exactly what I needed right now. Yes, oh my God. And you like freak out because now you've got this awesome card here. It's just really a fun card to play with, and has created so much excitement for me. I'm really into the deck right now. I really enjoy it.
That's sweet.
Yeah, I think you should try it. Well, if you feel like crafting Beneath the Grounds.
No, I have it. I've got the
You
card.
do?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I love that. If I play Arena, I do try to pick it up. Like
Yeah, it's fine in Arena.
I love it in Arena.
At some
It's
point
fun.
you'll get value.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
fun. It's fun.
It is a fun card. I like it a lot. My brother, he loves Rogue. He actually, he's playing a Magic, or I'm sorry, a Miracle Rogue, and I think he actually runs it because he's just like, he likes it too. He just likes the card.
Why not?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's cool as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting that like I'm playing preparation so that I can preparation beneath the grounds, not because I'm trying to like sprint or use the preparation for something else.
Right.
It's specifically just in there because I can cast free beneath the grounds. I'm just like, just get it out of my hand, I just get it into their deck as quick as possible. And like, sure, I'll use the preparation occasionally. I have one sprint in my build and one assassinate and one shadow strike, but like more times than not, I'm just like turn one prep beneath the ground to go. It just feels awesome to be like, and now you have a chance of just drawing into anything here or drawing into 4/4s for me. Just super fun. Easily the funnest I've had forever.
And literally forever.
And forever.
Forever.
Have you been playing anything cool this or right now, Mike? Or are you still just kind of like dirtling around?
Yeah, I have not been honestly taking standard or rank mode very serious. I've been playing a lot of arena.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, I do all right. Everyone has those 0-3 series every now, and I had one of those with a shaman deck, and that felt real bad. I was like, all right, I'm gonna shut this. And it was one of those moments where it's like, all right, I'm 0-0. You go against a good deck. Okay, chances that that's gonna happen. So you're down one. Go against it's another good deck. Okay, chances are pretty slim, but it's gonna happen. I'm down 2. I'm 0-2. There's no way I'm gonna play against someone with it like the mage deck with like 7 flame strikes and 6 fireballs. And no, it was against a mage, and he had an answer to every single card I played. He beat me on turn 6. It happens. What you gonna do? It's arena.
Yeah, I know. What are you gonna do?
Yeah,
nothing.
You don't even get mad. You just kind of like, yeah, that's.
You just like
that's arena.
Let's cue another one.
Yeah.
Yep. I
like arena. It's different. I know what to expect.
It's always different every single time.
Right.
That's true. The other thing to keep in mind for those players that are out there that want to use gold for arena or even try to go infinite in arena and stuff like that right now, since we have the next set getting released, well, not released, released soon, but discussed tomorrow. At that point, it's a good idea right now for players to potentially start saving their gold. I know we've mentioned this 2 weeks ago as well, which was a good time. But if you haven't hopped on that train of sandbagging your gold, if you're a free-to-play player, now's a good time to start sandbagging your gold and start managing your account's gold for the next set.
Yeah,
just something to know. Yeah. Something that I think, it's really easy to spend your gold immediately on packs. I know it's really easy for a lot of people, but I think you get rewarded if you save it up a little bit, because right when the new stuff comes out, you'll be up to speed on the meta, and that makes for a much more fun experience when you get to that point. So just kind of, which is what I want. I want day one. I want new material, and I want it to feel like a new game, which is great. Same rules to the basic concept of the game, but just a new game. Other than that,
right?
Yeah.
Let's see what else. We kind of talked about we kind of talked about the data report already, so go check that out. Just vicioussyndicate.com. So we already talked about it too. Don't forget tomorrow, I guess it's going to be today, they're going to announce whatever it'll be the announcement of the announcement probably. No, we already had the announcement of the announcement, and this might actually be the announcement. For whatever's coming next in Hearthstone. Blizzard wide, don't forget, and I actually forgot, you can go ahead and order your digital ticket for BlizzCon, and they've got the swag box. You can get that right now too at the Blizzard Gear Store. So if I completely forgot about it, one of my best buddies already signed it. He was like, "Have you gotten that yet?" I said, "No, I completely forgot." So luckily I got that today. But so if you're not going to BlizzCon but still want to watch it and get all the in-game stuff, if the nerd points and the skins and that's your thing, get it. You can get it now.
Now is the time.
Now. Make your time. It is now. All your base belong to us.
All your base belong to us.
Anything else? before we go,
Nothing else really for me here right now.
Okay.
Pretty slow week. This is the biggest lull for us. This is the end point where we should start seeing new content. So we're gonna have a really exciting stream or our stream and podcast next week, full of new cards potentially at this point, and just basically anything else that's going on alongside of the Hearthstone the Hearthstone new set release.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right. Well, that will be episode 75 of the Death Rattle Crew. Don't forget, you can find us at www.deathrattlecrew.com. Find us on your podcast catcher of choice if you haven't already. We're on Twitter at just search Death Rattle Crew and YouTube Death Rattle Crew. Bradford Lee, where can people find you?
As always, you can find me at twitch.tv/Bradford Lee.
And are you going to be social eating this week? I know.
Probably.
Chat's been asking about it.
I'm gonna start adding it to my Monday routine, because Mondays I play like any game that I want, so I don't play like Hearthstone, and so I'm gonna start trying to do social eating on Mondays.
Nice.
It's kind of ridiculous, but it's awesome at the same time. So I'm excited for that. It's gonna be funny.
All right. Well, from the rest of the Death Rattle Crew, I'm Tac2. That is Bradford Lee. And earlier you heard the fantastic voice of Mushu. And we will see you next week.
So you're telling me Beneath the Grounds is a 3-mana 12/12? Dude, that's so broken. Why would they print a card like that? It needs an immediate nerf. God, that's so broken. It's like insane.
Australia.
Yeah, upcoming releases is an expansion, not an adventure.
Okay,
It's
yep.
just like,
Yeah, we're going to talk about it.
Oh, you haven't talked about it?
No, we just kind of commented on it. That's it.
Yeah, it was just like...
So it sounds like that makes you angry. Does that make you angry?
The idea, I don't think they would break tradition, is what I'm saying.
I was wondering that myself. I don't know.
But yeah, we can talk about it. They do break tradition.
Blizzard made a first-person shooter. I don't know.
I don't believe it. I don't think it's real.
Yeah, Overwatch is a lie.
It is.
It's all facade.
By the globalist.
Oh man. Bought kombucha, but it's a different brand than what I normally buy, and it's freaking-tastic.
A buddy of mine at work drinks that stuff, and I was telling him about how you drink it, and it made me
I
excited.
can't stop.
I need to try it.
I can't stop.
Is it gluten-free?
What is kombucha?
It's like a fermented tea, basically. It's a brewed tea with like cultures in it, like with probiotics in it. So it's almost like a soda, but it's a tea.
It's almost like a tea, but it's not a tea.
Yeah.
Right. It's almost like a beer, and it does have alcohol content in it, but it's not quite a beer. You have to drink like 5 of these probably to have any relevancy in alcohol content.
So what's the point? So why do we drink? Does it taste good? Is there X amount of vitamins?
And it has probiotics in it.
Oh, that's right.
It's like a living culture. Mm-hmm. And it tastes good.
Have you seen that thing where they take like probiotics, like the little, do you guys get those little tubs of probiotics? Like it's like a shot glass almost sort of thing. We have they're called Yakult in Australia, and they're little like 20, 30 ml bottles that have probiotics in there. And someone figured out that if you pour that little bottle into a milk bottle, you get a 2-liter bottle of probiotics, because they obviously they duplicate
keep doing their thing.
Yeah, they keep doing their thing, and it's hilarious.
I should buy that and just do that.
Right.
I think you have to add like sugar and stuff to it, but like that you can do it.
Something to eat. Yeah.
Yeah, if you add like alcohol or sugar or something.
Right. Yeah. Give it something to feast on. It will become massive.
All right. Well, you guys ready?
Yeah,
sure.
Okay.
We should include the kombucha discussion.
Oh, I threw in the Pokemon Go discussion last week.
Yeah, no, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Aside from the whatever happened to the audio.
Yeah, we figured that out. Long story short, it was software issue, but it's all figured out now.
Solid.
Yes, I was able to recreate the issue. So
because I fucking saw it in Brad Wright in big caps. I was like, What are you talking about, Brad? Just
Oh,
settle
when I
down,
put it
'cause
in the chat.
yeah, because I'd only listen to the intro, and the intro was fine. It was like Brad, yeah, and then I listened to the rest of it. Oh, oh,
That's what
I
that threw me
I
too.
was-
So yeah.
I just put it on and I was in like a store and I was like really stoned and I was like in the middle of the store and I was like looking at something and all of a sudden I like threw my headphones off and I was like, ugh. And then I realized I was in a store and I was like, and they're like all these people looking at me at this point. And I'm like, I have to vigorously type this on Skype now. And so then I just like immediately started going down to my thing and I'm like near the cash register and I look up and the lady gives me this like blind stare. She had not looked away the whole time. She's like, what is wrong with this human being? And I'm just like,
well,
I'm like physically disgusted, you know? Like,
this massive, like this whole redheaded guy has just thrown off his headphones and started doing weird stuff. He's probably making noises and shit. It's quite a spectacle. Are you a edibles kind of guy, or are you the classic bong kind of dude? What's your poison?
Either way. Got to get your medicine somehow. This kombucha's good too.
Is there a preference? Like edibles would be easier.
What would be?
Edibles, just eating a cookie.
Yeah, but when you do something like that, you're consuming at a rate that's like much greater than something else. So like, you could consume so much that you waste your whole day. I guess is the way to say it.
Well, yeah, because I've heard that it's like absorbed it's 5 times stronger because it's absorbed differently instead of being obviously being inhaled. The THC is digested, and that really makes things interesting.
Yep.
It gets a little too real, man. Gets a little too real.
It's like the difference between going out with a 6-pack and calling it a night after the 6-pack, and like, but really what you realize is your alcohol content was twice as much, and you just drank a 12-pack, you know, and you're like, wow, why am I so shit-faced right now?
Yeah. I feel like within the next 10 years it'll be illegal in Australia. It's slowly making traction in the eastern states as medical use, but we're kind of it's interesting how we're sort of archaic in certain like social progressions and like forward in others. Like, you know, we've got a very sort of socialist.
It's all about the money.
System.
It's all about the money.
But you guys are making so much money. Like, didn't Colorado?
Colorado,
like
tax revenue.
Clean the fuck up.
Yeah,
like over alcohol because
people. They got so much money that they had a surplus in tax money and they're giving it back to the citizens of the state.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And all that on top of the fact that the dispensaries are having a hard time finding banks to place the money because there's so much legislation.
Can we get a like smoke weed every day drop in here post edit, please? I'll find you the song, like the bit of the song.
Only if I can put that like the Snoop Dogg doing the little wheel around
in the video. Yeah, 100%. But no, get that in there because that's fantastic.
Little Hypnotoad in the background. Yeah, absolutely.
Have we had this week's update for Pokemon Go?
No.
I have an update too.
All right, we can start with Brad's update.
I finally reached level 5, Mushu.
Oh shit!
Gotta catch them all, Pokemon.
I joined Team Mystic. I know.
Oh, you fucking hipster! No, you go bad. Dude, you should join Team Yellow. Team Yellow, aka Instinct, is the underdog. There are so many fucking memes going around about like because they released the leaders this week at the San Diego Comic Con, and everyone's just like taking the shit out of Spark. It's so fucking troll. I don't even get it, but yeah, people are just like laying into it because the other two, Mystic and Valor, have these like I don't know, they look sort of like stoic female characters, and then there's Sparky, as people are calling him, and no one is quite too sure. He just looks like he's taking it way too easy.
Yeah. I like my favorite meme from that whole entire like thing is the one where it's the Simpsons and Bart and I can't think of the other guy's name, but Bart and one of the other kids are throwing like an apple and an orange down, and like they're like, "Come on, Mystic, go!" You know, and like go apple, go orange. Yeah, and then Ralph just comes up and he throws his banana, and it's like it's because it's yellow, he's like banana, and it doesn't roll at all because they're like trying to roll it down the bus aisleway. It's awesome. That's the best meme that's come out of it.
Fucking hell. Sometimes you just lose it with some of these memes. Like some of them so good. I mean, there are so many good. Because I'm working on the census at the moment. Fun fact: anyone listening to this who's in Australia, census Tuesday, August 9th. Make sure you do it.
Or Matt will find you.
It basically, not to give too much away, but internal memes are a great thing in an office. It's a good way of bringing an office together. Internal memes.
Oh yeah, I've actually been making Hearthstone cards of people at work.
I feel like if they get it, if they know what Hearthstone
well,
is,
I'm only sending it to people that play Hearthstone, but like I'll take one of their pictures and be like, there'll be like a 720 and then battle cry, compiles code, death rattle, it breaks, it disastrously breaks and crashes in production. Just inside jokes and stuff, but we get a good laugh at them. So eventually I'll have a full set and we'll release it.
Yeah, facts. It consumes everyone else's food in the fridge, sort of thing.
Yeah,
that'd be fantastic. Man, after what
consumes everyone else's food.
Man, that'd be so. I'm just thinking like how fucking bad that would be in an office. And after working in an office for a little bit, it's like, man, how the fuck does it even happen? How do you go there?
I know, and you know what? It does happen, and it's got to be all right. I'm sorry. Someone puts a damn foot-long Subway sandwich in the fridge. Do you really think you went and bought that Subway sandwich like a couple hours ago? Oh, I forgot. That wasn't mine. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm just going to say it. Are you fucking kidding me?
Especially if you write like "fuck off" on the sandwich or something. That's what I would do. Like Matt's big sub or something on it.
Oh, it's like Jana's or Jane's Subway, and it's like Bob eats it. It's like, is your name Jane? No, you're the fat fucker named Bob. Why the hell did you eat my Subway sandwich?
Man, I feel like we've hit way too close to home here.
We did. It happens all the time. Not to me, but like I'm just shocked. How
it sounds like you've been the victim in this situation more than
no. I know better. I don't bring my I don't leave it in the fridge. I'm just like it irks me that society is that way. That's why. I'm going to sound like a grumpy old man. That's why we have the candidates we have for the U.S. presidential election. Because people suck. You can't put your own lunch in the refrigerator without people eating it. No, but really,
in my day,
back in my day, you
could leave that in the refrigerator.
We didn't have refrigerators in my day. At the ice box,
and you had to bring your own ice uphill both ways.
And they always ate my own ice. Damn it.
Yeah. They did eat your ice. Those damn commie bastards. Oh man. All right.
Sorry. Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
I level 23, nearly at 100 caught, aiming for the summit by next week. It may or may not happen. I've been like, where I live, there's 4 gyms around the train station. So every night I've been like capping them, and usually it takes me like 40 minutes. But last night it took me an hour and a half, because as I would get to one gym, someone would cap the previous gym I was at, and like eventually I saw the other cars that were driving around. It was really strange that there was one from each team. It was just sort of like a perfect storm. And so I just like sort of eventually, it was obvious they had more, because I was just going by myself, and they had the red team had 3 guys doing it, because every time they kept a gym, 3 Pokemon would appear on it. I was just like, nah, fuck this. So I just pulled into a dark corner for about 10 minutes, watched them drive by, waited for about 5 more minutes, and then capped it. But yeah, that's how I've been having my Pokecoins.
That's funny.
Yeah,
I haven't done any gyms yet, Mushu. I've literally, the closest gym to me is like 20-minute walk, which is annoying.
That's well, I suppose the closest gym to me is a 20-minute walk, but I drive. Obviously, I work in the city, and there's X amount of gyms, and I just go like I'm willing to travel to places for Pokemon Go. Like Wellard is the suburb I live in, and it's just sort of like garbage, because on the Ingress data, Wellard is barely there. Like my street's only there because of like recent updates, and it's just like nothing really spawns. You just get the miscs, but kind of the miscs Pokemon like the Pidgey, Zubat, Rattata, Spearow, Caterpie, Weedle thing is what you want because that's how you level.
Right.
Because they're so cheap. With the exception of Zubat and Spearow, the other ones that cost 12 candies to evolve. So every 3 ones you catch, you can evolve the 4th one and get 1,000 XP if you pop your lucky egg. But yeah, so headed for the summit. Keen to get. I want to catch them all the available ones before they put trading in. Because once trading goes in, everyone will have it, and it's just like not fun. Like obviously. My plan at the moment is to stand at the international airport with a sign saying wanting to trade when trading comes out, wanting to trade for like a Farfetch, a Tauros, a Ditto, or whatever. All the regional
things
Pokemon.
You can't get there. Yeah.
That's because obviously I would think you'd have to stand relatively close to the person you trade with. So I think that would be the best way to do it. Is just get some person coming off like from the US at the Perth International Airport. Like I reckon if I stood there for a day, I reckon I'd get it done.
So funny,
so much dedication.
Yeah, dude, I came up with this idea yesterday, and I'm like, holy fuck, I'm a genius. That's an excellent idea.
What could
Why don't
go
you just
wrong?
ship your phone? That would actually be a cool service.
Oh,
you
wow.
could ship your phone to the location and have
Dude,
somebody catch them for you. And
You
return it.
you figured it out. There you go.
You don't need to because it's Google account based.
Yeah.
So you can just get someone. You can pay someone to buy a cheap phone and play for you in that in that area.
You've just moved gold farming from World of Warcraft to Pokemon Go.
Seriously, like why not, right?
For botting in Pokemon Go, like because you can GPS play on your computer, and then you can apparently, and we're just like, what the fuck's the point of playing anymore? Like botting in WoW, obviously you get the WoW gold to buy the elite gear. I guess maybe to buy stuff in game. I don't know.
Buy your game time, maybe.
Yeah, but like in Pokemon Go, it doesn't. It's not obvious to me what the upside of botting is.
Right.
Maybe people want to get because once you get to level 30, it maxes out the combat power of the Pokemon you catch. Like you can't get any higher. So you'll between 30 and 40, there's no change. The last 10 levels, because the maximum is 40, is just seems kind of, I don't know, almost redundant at the moment. But yeah.
Right. That's funny.
And I think that'll do it for those poker little badge things that'll catch Pokemon are going to be available in Australia next month. So I'm looking forward to those. They're sort of like a little, I guess, if you ever saw them, the like sort of poker walkers from one of the previous generations of Pokemon. You can basically walk around, and it'll automatically catch certain Pokemon and store it in there, and you sync it up at the end of the day, and you can see what you caught.
Cool.
Yeah, I think or something along those lines. Basically, it helps you catch shit. But I think that'll do it for this week's Pokemon Go update. If neither of you had anything else.
The only other thing I got to say is I finally have found I've got 4 routes now that allow me in my town to like get decent amount of like stops to get things. It'll go along a gym line. Like I've got like 4 routes now, and I'm trying to like map more in my town because there really is like hardly anywhere around me. There's maybe those 4 routes. There might be like go the opposite way, and then I can maybe kind of create one other one, which is going to be a really long one, but that's about all I've got. So
there are a couple of resources you can use. There's like a Pokemon map that will show you all the gyms in your area. It's called Poker Vision, which is arguably game breaking, where you can search your GPS coordinates and it'll show you all the active Pokemon in your area and how long they have before they run away. Like, so a Dratini might have like an 11-minute timer. I normally wouldn't use something like that, but I feel justified in using it at the moment because the tracker is absolutely broken. So in the bottom right-hand corner, anyone who's played, you see that the nearby Pokemon, and it goes off like steps. So if it's 3 steps away, it's very far away. 2 steps, it's closer. The 1 step, it's right near you, sort of thing. That's busted, and the 9 that show up aren't necessarily even in your area. So
yeah,
until they fix that, I'm just going to keep using Poker Vision. But yeah, check out Poker Vision. It's really busted.
I've been using it out here because it's the only option I have. Because I've only got certain directions to go, and so I have to kind of like.
It's only one road.
There's no other choice. Yeah, like what else can I do?
Right.
But yeah, it is pretty busted.